Gearbest have kindly sent me a quad from a company I've not come across before and not reviewed for them certainly. It's JIE-STAR, and this is a Skyhunter X8. Really smart looking, and again a folding drone. 2017, the year of the folding drones obviously. But the interesting thing about this, starts off really small. When you fold the arms out, it's a 280mm motor centre to motor centre across the diagonal quad. So it should be nice and stable, I'm hoping that amount of spread on the motors would help it. The box is really substantial, but what I want to show you is just how small it is. Everything's packed into this. It's got a nice transmitter as well. So, and on the back, what we've got is the two different colours. You've got the black and the white, and then what model you've actually gone for. My one's got altitude hold, and it's also got Wi-Fi as well, and like I say, a transmitter. So I'm just going to pop that out and show it to you. And we'll run through the instructions and everything. Little packs of spares there, and then like I say, it's quite a small quad to start with. And then when we fold it out, we actually get quite a reasonable, decent sized quad then. And it's very lightweight. I put the weight down the bottom there, and even got fold out landing gear, which really clicks into position, which is really nice. Really, so far, I'm pretty impressed with it. Let's see what it's like in the air, shall we? Okay, so going to give it a quick flight with the Skyhunter. First one I'm going to fly is with the transmitter. Now I'm going to use the my phone as the FPV, so I can see what's going on with the actual quad. But I really do recommend, if you're new to flying, don't bother with all this. Just literally learn how to fly and then add the FPV. But that's just the way I would do it. Just want to show you, this is really a very sturdy way of holding a phone onto your transmitter here, and it's a really soft feel plastic transmitter. It really feels quite cool in the hand. This literally just clips around there, as you can clearly see, and then you put a bit of pressure up there, and then you push that up into there like that, and then click that in, and it is really good. Absolutely rock solid. That is not going anywhere. It forms a good part of it, and it will take a good sized phone as well, so that's really good. My transmitter seems slightly dull, would be a term to use I suppose. It's slightly lethargic on the actual throttle side, so it sort of comes back sort of slowly, or even on the throttle it actually stays where you put it, which is sort of quite interesting. The right hand one springs right back, and when you use it on the yaw or the turn, it goes back quite quick, but throttle, it will stay where you put it. So a little bit unusual, a little bit sticky. I don't know if that's just mine, but it really won't cause any problems. And this transmitter is brilliant if you're a thumber, so you put your thumbs over the top and fly, or whether or not you pinch as well, you can do either. Everything's really comfy on this. Yeah, I mean, these are old style gaming transmitters, so they're really good. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get on with having a quick run round. So as I said, great folding drone, and it folds out to quite a size, as I showed before. So let's just bring it right the way out. There we go. Make sure the arms are clicked into position. They do click, there's nothing holding them there, so if they take an impact they will come back. And these props are brilliant. They get out the way if there's a problem, so you shouldn't really have any issues with damaging anything, and they're really nice and flexible as well, so good stuff. And then you could do it without the landing gear if you liked. It really doesn't make an awful lot of difference, or the landing gear would just make it, keep it away from long grass, etc., and just open up the landing gear. And again, they really click into position, so quite impressed with that. So pop that down. Let's have a quick run through the transmitter, and there's absolutely nothing marked on it, which isn't uncommon with these sort of things. I'm just going to pop it on, and the numbers here are actually what your throttle is. So I've got to fake bind it basically. So you go up and then down, and then it thinks it's bound, and it gives you a little icon there showing you that it thinks it's bound, which is rubbish, and that's supposed to be showing you the signal strength. Well, the quad's not on, so there isn't, but that is quite common, to be perfectly honest. So as I pull the throttle down, the numbers come down and go up. I don't know why on earth you'd want those. There's absolutely no need for them at all, and you don't look down when you're flying. You look up, or you'd be looking at your FPV. It really doesn't make any difference, but they put it on anyway. You've got your battery condition, and this is the condition of the battery on the transmitter. And let's run through all the controls. So auto takeoff, auto landing. So once you've bound it, you just simply hold this one down for a couple of seconds. You get that double beep,
the props will go into idle and then it will pump up. It doesn't come up too high, this one, only about half a metre to a metre max, I would say. If you want to auto land, simply hold this one and you get a beep beep, and now it will come into land, and you can use this one here to control where it's going to come into land, so you've got total control over it. If you want to cancel it, just give it some throttle and that will cancel the landing and off you go again. You've got your different rates here. It starts in low rates and then you press it once, it goes beep beep into medium, beep beep beep, and it goes into high. And again, it just comes around into low again. So you've got low, intermediate, and they call it expert. Lots of them call it all different things. You can turn the lights on and off with this one here, and that will turn the lights on and off of the quad, and I'll show you that when we get out there. These ones here, so these 2 and these 4, are for setting the trim if it starts to drift around. But before you do that, I would suggest you try calibrating the gyro on it, because invariably that's what will be wrong. What you do is have the quad turned on a level and a flat surface, and then just bring these 2 down and in, and then you'll get flashing LEDs, and when it stopped flashing it means the gyro is calibrated. That usually sorts out any sort of problems with flying and it drifting away and everything. If it's wind affecting it, obviously this doesn't have a GPS, so it's not going to make any difference calibrating it or not calibrating it. If you got the one with just the camera on, you'll be able to put a micro SD card into here, but because I've got the one with the FPV Wi-Fi, you don't store your images on the actual quad, you store them actually on your phone. So if you've got the one without the Wi-Fi, you use these to store onto the card on the actual quad. You press this one to take a photograph and you get a quick flash up there of a camera. It really is quick actually. And then to record video, you just press that one and you get a deep deep, and then you get the video icon up, and then press it again, it turns it off. And again, that will not activate your phone for recording, just be aware of that. You have to do that on the app itself. You've got this one here on the left. If I press this one and hold it in, it'll go into headless mode, and then we've got, it basically says north, so it just means that north is always north, so away from you is always away. It's a mode 2 transmitter, so this is your throttle, so when you go up and down on this, the quad will ascend and descend. If you want it to turn right or turn left, you simply push this one to the right, and that will keep turning it to the right. Do it to the left and it will turn to the left. That's actually called yawing, not turning. If you want to go forward, you simply press this one on the right, forward, and that's called pitching, so it pitches forward and you pitch back. And if you want it to go to the right or the left that way, it's called rolling. You press that one to the right and it will roll to the right, and that one to the left and it will roll to the left. If you turn it around this way and I pitch forward, so press that one, that's now forward because it's always where the camera is, so this is always the front of the drone, unless you go into this headless mode, which I've just put it in. Now because I've started from here, and if I now press forward is always away from me, doesn't matter what angle, even if it's at a slight angle, that should always be away from me. Backwards is always towards me, right and left, and the left controller works exactly the same in headless mode or whether it's not in headless mode. So basically headless mode means there is no heading on it that it has to go to. You've decided where the heading is from where you took off, so that's headless mode. So to cancel out of that, you just hold that down for a couple of seconds. If you want it to do a flip, you simply press this one. It keeps beeping till you give it a direction of flip, and you can go right, left, forward or back, and it will just ascend slightly, do a complete flip, come back round, and then sort of level itself out. It's not a brilliant flipper, I must admit. I'm not big on the actual sort of manual, these sort of button flippers, and this one, well, I don't think it's particularly good, but if that's what you want to do, it does it. And then there is a return to home button. You simply press this down, hold it for a couple of seconds, and you get an S come up there, and it would start heading back roughly in the direction that you started in. There's no guarantee with it because it's not GPS, so there's no way that it'll actually know where to come to. It will just go off in a direction, and hopefully head towards you. Okay, so I got my phone on. Turn the transmitter on first of all, and then turn your quad on. So you get flashing LEDs on the bottom there. If I go up and down, it then tells me there that it's bound, and actually if I turn it back over, it's bound to the quad because the LEDs have stopped flashing. and this is reasonably level, so I will try and do that calibration, but I doubt if you'll be able to see it actually. No, you won't. And I can't actually turn it over. Well, we'll try it a little bit like that, shall we? So there we go, you got a beep off it, and there is a little flashing LEDs under there. So the Quad will have set up a Wi-Fi hotspot, and just make sure that you are still bound to it. And what we're going to do is log on to that Wi-Fi hotspot, and it's already done it, I can see it there. But what you need to do the first time you've used it is go into your Wi-Fi settings, and it will come up with Wi-Fi UFO and then a number. Just click on that one and make sure you're connected to it. And it should automatically reconnect once you've connected to it once. Then come out of that, and then this is called Wi-Fi STAR, is the app that we're going to use, and that's the one that they recommend for it. Then hit play, and we're away. There we go. So that's us all done. Okay, that's pretty quick actually. The Wi-Fi is getting better and better, even on these really sort of economic sort of cheap models. It's quite incredible. So we can control, I'll run through the controls when we actually fly on the app, but this one, all I'm going to do is just start recording. So press that one and it starts counting up, and like I say, it's recording back onto the phone here. They do say you can start it by pulling both these sticks out, and I've found sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know why, it just doesn't seem to. Oh, there we go. So perhaps it's you have to hold it for a couple of seconds, I don't know. If you want to stop the motors, you just bring the throttle right off, and you can do that when you come into land. As soon as it comes onto your hand or anything that it's stopped moving downwards, the motors will kill. Yeah, see, I'll try that again. Oh, there we go. You sort of have to do it twice for some reason. So I'm going to just take off manually. I'm not going to bother with the auto takeoff this time, but I will do it in a minute. There we go, and it just takes a second for it to get the altitude hold working. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, very good. So nice and steady, slight drift on it. That could just be, yeah, I think that must be just a tiny bit of wind that's catching that. And there we go. So this is in low rate, so it's at full pitch in low rate, so it is quite slow, which would be good for filming. I'll just go up there. Yeah, it must be a little bit. There we go. Actually, I'll stop the video. Whoops. Oh, I'm just pressing it too much. There we go. And take a selfie. There we go. And take another one. It'll probably be exactly the same quality as the actual video, as a still from the video. And actually, I'll turn my volume up because I think I've got that set right down. Yeah, so it should actually make a noise when we're taking photos. So that's at full pitch in low rates, and it's nothing really anxious about it. It's faster than some of the ones I've had in slow rates, to be honest. So I'm going to pop that up into second rate. Oops. There we go. That's second. Well, that's a bit better. Yeah, that's quite nice. And I'm going to pop it into third rate. There we go. Whee! And that really gets it a bit of a move on then. That's good. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's nice. Whee, there we go. Now that, if you put it into a very tight turn and you're in high rates, it will just do that slight dipping sometimes, I've noticed. So just be aware of that. If you've got it fully up, it will funnel up with no problem at all. So it can actually carry it, but it is just straining the motors sometimes when you just do a really tight turn. There we go, it can handle the funneling, no trouble at all. There we go. Now I'll give it high altitude and it sort of merrily goes off on its merry way. Okay, let's try a flip. So it's flying pretty good actually, quite pleased with that. So press this one on the right. Whee, like I say, I don't think it's a really good flipper, to be honest. So I'm going to try that again forwards. I've got to give it loads of throttle to sort of recover that. So it's, yeah, I don't think it's great at flipping, but that's, you know, that's not a problem. Let's try it So I'll show you the lights on and off. There we go, so it's lights off. Lights on. Doesn't really affect a lot of the power because they're only really tiny anyway. And for orientation they're pretty good. And they put red ones on the back. We like red ones on the back. It's where they should be. So. And it's quite a nice little, sort of precise little flyer. There's no problem. And the FPV is pretty good. I tell you what, let's just do a quick range check while we're playing around. So I know if I come down here in the garden, and if you know the channel at all, you know this is a 50-meter test. I'm coming down over here, and then we can just see how we're going. I don't think this transmitter will have any problem at all. It's whether or not the Wi-Fi can cope with it. It's about 30 meters there. We're over. Oh, that's 40. Yeah, and it's still holding. Yeah, no, we're right over the top of the woods there. Oh, I just got to drop out there, and that's fair enough. So that's okay. So about 50 meters. That's about right for this sort of FPV setup. Yeah, that's good. So 50 meters, no trouble at all. On the transmitter, there's no glitch there, and we just got a bit of a freeze up on the actual FPV, which is fair enough. Just going to stop the video. Oh, and I got a bleep that time, a small noise. Let me just show you. I'll just take another selfie. There we go. Ciao. And if you're using video, I suggest you stay in low rates. There we go. So we got really loud stuff there, and that's very good. Have we got flashing LEDs? Oh yeah, we have. So flashing LEDs are to warn you that your battery's running low and you need to come into land. So I'm going to stop the video. That was a good idea. And I'm just going to press the auto land one. There we go. There we go. So you just hold that down for 2 seconds. You get that beep beep. So let's try the auto takeoff if it's got enough power in it. So just holding this one in. That clatter that you sort of get there, that's quite normal with these sort of props. It's just as they find their way round and the centrifuge sort of throws them out. There is also a panic situation. You can kill the motors just by holding these two down. I'll just show, bang. It's quite quick. So if you accidentally flick those, you will drop from the sky wherever you are. So. Oh, I think the motors are so down. There we go. The battery, sorry, is so low. It's really struggling, and it's even drifting forward a bit, which I think is probably to do with the fact that the battery's so low. Oh, we've got a little bit of moss on the back there. Oh. No, see, it carries weight as well. But I mean, it's quite a good little. Oh, you can see the way the props are working there as well. Well, that was pretty good. What I'll do is get that battery on charge. We'll come back out and I'll fly it on the app. Okay, if you want to fly using the app, you simply make sure you turn on the quad first of all. You get flashing LEDs. Then check on your Wi-Fi settings that you've actually picked up the Wi-Fi again. And then it says it won't automatically reconnect, but it's funny, it usually does. So if you leave it a few seconds, it usually then does it. Come back and then go into the app, which is Wi-Fi STAR, and then press play. And then you notice the LEDs are still flashing because we're not bound to this. All it's sending is a signal back for the actual camera. We'll turn that over and then press this little button here, top right. It will then come up with this, and then the LEDs stop flashing. So basically we're bound on it, and now it's ready for us to fly. And I've done a video on how to use an app very similar to this. They're all pretty similar, and I'll put a link down in the description for you. I'm just going to put that on somewhere really flat, and you do have a little calibration one on this one, which is rather good. So I'm just going to pop that down there and then press the calibration one. There we go, and that's all finished calibrating, and we're ready to go. So let's take some video as well while we're at it. We're doing everything I can do. And on this particular one, you need to press this middle one here, and that gives you, and then we've got altitude hold on it, so might be able to fly it without altitude hold on. You've got auto takeoff, auto land then. So we're up and away. So the controls are exactly the same as we had before. It's called a mode 2 flight mode. So you'll be able to see on the actual screen grab that how it's flying. And this is full pitch. This is how slow you sort of get when you're on apps. You tend to get really slow. But actually, it's quite a controllable one. Now, I like this app because if I put my finger here, it will jump to it. So now that might sound a bit silly, but if I pitch forward and I slightly let go, when I put my finger back down where I think it was, it'll keep flying in the direction that I've chosen. So I actually really like these. I really like these apps. I think they're quite cool. Easy to fly. So I'm going to up the rates, obviously. That's in low rates. Oops. That's intermediate, and that's high rates. Hey, and it does get a move on. So sometimes they just never make it up on the speed, but that's actually quite good. Hey, that is quite cool. Yeah, it's not too anxious, but it does work, and I can fly it on it. So that's a huge benefit. And the quality is exactly the same whether you're using the transmitter or you're using the app. So, and you can fly FPV as well. Yeah, the FPV's not bad actually. You could, yeah. Freezes up on frames a little bit, but that does happen. It's, you know, the prices they're knocking these things out for, I'm sort of amazed they actually do anything, to be honest. Yeah, very nice little flyer. Yeah, you can virtually do anything with this. Oh, I'm well impressed. And for me, with an app, this is very good. So I wonder if I can take off altitude hold. Yeah, I can. Oh, so you can actually fly it without altitude hold on it. So now it's up to me to control it. So it should actually ascend and descend quicker. Yeah, it does. So to pop that back on, you press that middle one. And now this one becomes centered. So as soon as I pull it down, it pops back. So that is how the altitude hold works. If I turn it off, there we go. Now I've got to control it. So that's more like a it is a non-altitude hold quad. Woohoo! I'm going to pop that back on there. You've got a kill button on here as well, so if you press that one, whoa, it does that. You get no second warning with it, do you? And again, nice thing about that, it's bent that arm back, but it hasn't broken anything, so there's a huge benefit of these folding drones. You can actually do that sort of thing with it, so very good. And this time I'm actually going to fly on the gyro, so that uses the gyro of your phone. So when I go forward or backwards, rocket forward or backwards, the quad will go forward and backwards. Now I actually turn it on, you can see what's happening there. So it's actually controlling this control. If we go to the right or the left, it does the same. And if I come back at an angle, it comes at an angle. So it's exactly the same as if you were trying to do it with your thumb. And if I turn that off, I can show you. So it's exactly the same as what I was doing there, but you're actually using the gyro on your phone. So it's quite a nice way of flying, actually. A little bit different. So I don't get on particularly well with them, so I'll warn you of that now. But hey ho, what could possibly go wrong? It's only flying. So your left control stays the same, but like I say, well, it's quite responsive as well. So it's quite nice. So I'm going to pitch forward, pitch backwards. Like I say, you can go at any sort of angle you like, so it's however you tilt your phone. And this one is actually quite a good little app, I like it. So you can still roll and do all the other things as well. Now obviously it's back to front, so it's kind of funky. So this is going to be forward towards me, this could be back. That is actually quite cool. A lot of people fly that like that and then put it into headless mode as well, so it just depends what you really want, to be honest. It does actually show that it's got a flip button here, but I don't think that works, to be honest. I'm not actually being able to get it to work. No. No, I didn't seem to want to, so. But that's the app, and it's really quite nice. I quite like it actually. It's a lot more impressive than a lot of the apps, I can tell you. I wonder if we're getting low on battery again. Yeah, so, and you could do an orbit me if you wanted to. These are always a nightmare to do. These are a nightmare to do with stick controls. There we go. And then auto land, simply press that button there and it'll just come down and land. And again, like I say, you can control where it's going to come and land. So just pop it down there. Oh, that's good. Well, let's just pop this up one last time. But I've actually enjoyed that. It's been good. So auto takeoff, auto land. Again, you get that slap. There we go. Yeah, you do get a freeze up on this video, on this FPV, without a doubt. It's freezing up, but that's quite normal. Like I say, it's not. Well, it's not unusual. Sorry. So that's full pitch at 100%, and that's dropped back to 30%. Still on full pitch. You can see how gentle it is in low rates. It is really low. Whoa! Actually, the yaw I think is about the same. Let me just try it. That's intermediate and that's high. Yeah, the yaw doesn't actually change, and that's low. Oh, I don't think so, no. But the pitch certainly does. So that's high and that's low. And I didn't alter anything. And actually, when the battery's low on this, you can't control it. It doesn't. Well, you can, but it sort of eases off. You don't get so much control with it, I've noticed. Whoops, yeah, and it's also, you get a bit of a drift on as well, which, there we go. Now I'm not doing anything there, it's just literally that low on battery. So, and you saw the effect there of the props getting out of the way when it touched down on the ground. So yeah, I really like these sort of folding props, and also these folding quads as well. They're getting really good. There we go. So yeah, it's pretty good.
So in summary, what am I thinking of it? Well, let's be honest. This is coming in with there's a discount code that GearBest is still running. I can't believe they still are. You get 18% off anything. Buy through the link that I'll put down in the description, and then add in the code that I'll put down there. And this comes in at about £27 delivered to you. Everything here, so it's about $35. They do one without the transmitter as well, and you save yourself a couple of quid, or about $3 or $4. I would always go for the one with the transmitter, because you've got both then, so you can learn to fly properly, or it's just a great transmitter for it as well. But it flies really well on the app. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. You get a complete set of props for this as well, and you get the screws to actually replace when you actually take the blades out on the props as well, so absolutely no problem. I had a few dings and bangs around, as I tend to on my reviews, and not a bit of damage, because the arms fold out the way and these props get out the way pretty sharpish as well, so quite impressive there. This is one of the best FPV holders, best phone holders I've had for the FPV system. Absolutely superb, rock solid on here. It's about the best one I've ever come across with a gaming transmitter. They don't supply you with AA batteries, so you need 2 AA batteries for the transmitter, and it's a really nice, comfortable transmitter, works really well. The Quad actually comes with a 650 milliamp hour battery, and that's a single cell, and you charge that using any USB charger port, so mains, a computer, or in your car or wherever. When you plug it in, you don't get any LEDs on. Don't worry about that. When it's fully charged, the LED then comes on. So you know, that's just the way this one works. They all seem to work different ways. So I did find out when I was playing around with it afterwards that when you get down to low battery warning, the lights pulse front and rear, so that's totally different to when you're in like headless mode, where they pulse all the time. So it's a really good system on the LEDs. I mean, and again, for what it is, absolutely incredible, I think. So value for money, you know, I mean, this is no DJI Mavic, and it was never intended to be, but at the money, crikey, you could buy loads of these for a DJI Mavic. The downside, yes, is the camera quality isn't brilliant. But, you know, we've got to get back to this. It's 27 quid, and it flies really nicely. So great big double paws up for this, I think. And before I finish, they actually put in an instruction manual as well, and the instruction manual is really pretty well written actually, all in English at the front, and then it goes all into Chinese at the back. But no, that would certainly get you started. So yeah, honestly, for the money, I can't really see anything wrong with it.